The Zacaton tragedy involving Sheck Exley was a sad and unfortunate incident for cave divers around the world. Shelby Sheck Exley was one of the most accomplished and respected cave divers in history. Born in Oklahoma in 1949, Exley grew up with a love of adventure and a deep fascination with the underwater world. He began diving at a young age and quickly developed a passion for exploring the depths of caves and other challenging underwater environments. Over the course of his career, Exley set numerous world records and achieved a level of expertise and renown that few divers have ever matched. He was known for his fearlessness, his meticulous attention to detail, and his willingness to push the limits of what was thought possible in the field of cave diving. Some of the records are that he was the first in the world to log over 100 cave dives at the age of 23. In 29 years of cave diving, he made over 4,000 dives. Exley had an unusual resistance to nitrogen narcosis and was one of the few divers to survive a 400-foot, 120-meter, open water dive on simple compressed air. In acting as a safety diver for two divers trying to set an air-only depth record in 1970, Exley reached 465 feet, 142 meters in salt water, but could go no deeper due to narcosis and the start of blackout. The two record depth attempting unconscious divers died just out of reach beneath him, and such air depth records are no longer sought or recorded. During his diving career, he set numerous depth and cave penetration records. Exley was the first person in the history of technical scuba diving to dive below 800 feet, 240 meters, a feat only 20 people have performed as of 2021. His carefully planned multi-stage decompressions from these dives in open water, not in a decompression tank, sometimes required times of as much as 13.5 hours. However, he never suffered a classic case of decompression sickness in his career. Exley was equally famous for his expertise at deep diving, an even more technical and formidable challenge. As depth increases, divers must breathe air at ever higher pressures. Underwater, the nitrogen in ordinary air causes narcosis, a kind of drunkenness that increases with depth. Even life-giving oxygen becomes poisonous at depths greater than 200 feet. Although Exley, one of the few to dive much below 400 feet on compressed air and live through the experience, had a demonstrated tolerance to it. One of Exley's most famous expeditions took place in 1993 when he and a team of fellow divers traveled to the Zacaton sinkhole in Mexico. The Zacaton sinkhole is a natural wonder located in northeastern Mexico, near the town of Aldama, in the state of Tamaulipas. It is known as one of the deepest known sinkholes in the world, with a depth of over 1,000 feet and a diameter of approximately 328 feet. The sinkhole was formed by the collapse of the limestone bedrock above an underground river and is filled with crystal clear, warm water. The water in the sinkhole is heated by geothermal activity and has a temperature of around 90 degrees Fahrenheit at the surface. The water is highly saline and mineral-rich and supports a diverse ecosystem of microorganisms and small aquatic creatures. Although its remote location and challenging conditions, the Zacaton hole has become a popular destination for adventurous divers and explorers. Despite its popularity among divers and explorers, the Zacaton hole is also a site of great danger and risk. The extreme depth, darkness, and underwater obstacles can make it difficult and dangerous for even the most experienced divers, and there have been several tragic accidents and deaths associated with the sinkhole over the years. However, it is important to note that diving in Zacaton is not without risk, and many divers have experienced serious accidents or even lost their lives while exploring the underwater environment. As a result, diving in the sinkhole is typically only attempted by experienced and well-trained divers who have taken the necessary precautions to ensure their safety. Despite these risks, the Zacaton sinkhole remains a source of fascination and wonder for those who seek to explore the most remote and challenging corners of the natural world. Its unique geology and biology continue to reveal new insights into the mysteries of the Earth and its ecosystems, and its beauty and allure continue to captivate those who dare to explore its depths. Exley and his team spent several weeks exploring the depths of the sinkhole. Sheck Exley and his team spent months preparing for their dive in the Zacaton sinkhole, carefully planning every aspect of the expedition to ensure their safety and success. The team began by conducting a thorough survey of the sinkhole, using advanced sonar equipment and other technology to map the underwater environment. They identified the most challenging areas of the cave, including narrow passages and deep crevices, and developed detailed plans for navigating them safely. They also trained extensively in a variety of conditions, honing their skills and building their endurance. They practiced deep dives in other locations, familiarizing themselves with the effects of pressure and the challenges of cold water. In addition, the team conducted a series of test dives in the Zacaton sinkhole, gradually increasing their depth and exploring the cave system in greater detail. They used advanced lighting and communication equipment to stay in contact with each other and the surface, and developed a set of safety protocols to ensure that they could respond quickly to any problems that arose. Throughout the preparation process, Exley and his team remained focused and determined, constantly pushing themselves to their limits and never losing sight of their ultimate goal. By the time they were ready to attempt the dive to the bottom of the sinkhole, they were confident that they had done everything possible to ensure their safety and success. However, tragedy struck on April 6, 1994. Exley and a team of divers set out to explore the cave system. The goal of the expedition was to reach a depth of 1,000 feet, breaking Exley's previous record for the deepest dive in a freshwater cave system. Exley was known for his rigorous training and preparation, and he had spent months planning every detail of the dive. He and his team used advanced diving equipment, including special gas mixes and sophisticated rebreathes to help them withstand the extreme pressure and temperatures at such great depths. As Exley descended deeper into the cave system, where he encountered a series of challenges that tested even his formidable skills and experience. The water was colder and murkier than he had anticipated, and he struggled to maintain his bearings in the dark, twisting passageways of the underwater caves. Despite these obstacles, Exley continued to descend, inching closer and closer to his goal. However, as he approached a depth of around 800 feet, 244 meters, disaster struck. Exley's diving partner, fellow cave diver and close friend Jim Bowden, was following him closely as they descended. Suddenly, Bowden noticed that something was wrong. Exley had stopped moving and appeared to be unconscious. Bowden quickly realized that Exley was in trouble and attempted to help him. He swam closer to Exley and tried to remove his regulator, the device that supplies air to a diver's mouth, in order to see if he could revive him. However, as Bowden attempted to remove the regulator, he accidentally dislodged Exley's mask, causing him to lose visibility in the murky water. Bowden struggled to regain his bearings and locate Exley. During the hassle, Bowden was shocked to find that he had breathed far more gas volume than he had planned. His bottom mix cylinders contained barely more than 1,000 psi. At that depth, his regulators could not deliver if the pressure dropped less than 500 psi. This was a big problem, and Bowden had to deal with it quickly. He made a big choice of descending back on the surface. When Bowden surfaced, he immediately contacted the other members of the dive team and alerted them to the situation. A frantic search and rescue effort was launched, with team members using sonar and other technology to try and locate Exley. Despite their best efforts, however, Exley was nowhere to be found. In the days that followed, the team continued to search for Exley, but eventually had to call off the operation. It was later determined that Exley had likely suffered from nitrogen narcosis, a condition caused by breathing compressed air at great depths, which can impair judgment and cause disorientation. The news of Exley's death sent shockwaves through the diving community, and many mourned the loss of one of the greatest and most adventurous divers of all time. However, Exley's legacy lived on, and his contributions to the field of cave diving continued to inspire new generations of divers. Today, Exley is remembered as a pioneer and trailblazer, someone who pushed the boundaries of what was possible and achieved feats that many believed were impossible. Exley's death also highlighted the dangers and risks associated with cave diving, particularly at extreme depths. Despite the best efforts of experienced divers like Exley and Bowden, accidents can happen even to the most skilled and prepared individuals. In the wake of Exley's death, many in the diving community called for increased safety measures and more rigorous training for divers attempting to explore deep underwater caves and other challenging environments. Some argued that the risks of such activities outweighed the potential benefits, and that the pursuit of ever greater records and achievements could lead to more tragedies like Exley's. Despite these concerns, many divers continue to be drawn to the challenge and excitement of cave diving, and Exley's legacy remains a source of inspiration for those who seek to explore the most remote and inaccessible corners of the underwater world. Exley's contributions to the field of diving were not limited to his feats of exploration and record-breaking dives. He was also an accomplished writer and teacher, and he shared his knowledge and expertise with others through a series of books and instructional materials. One of Exley's most famous works is the book, quote, Blueprint for Survival, which offers practical advice and guidance for divers seeking to explore caves and other challenging underwater environments. In the book, Exley emphasizes the importance of preparation, training, and attention to detail, and he shares many of the lessons he learned over the course of his career. Exley's death was a profound loss to the diving community, but his legacy continues to inspire divers around the world. His accomplishments and achievements serve as a reminder of the incredible potential of human exploration and the enduring fascination of the underwater world.